The Agricultural and Agrarian Insurance Board announced recently that they had identified a total of 80,000 acres of farmlands that were damaged by Cyclone Fengal. The surveying of damaged farmlands is still ongoing in several areas and is expected to be completed the day after tomorrow. According to the circular issued, a maximum of 40,000 rupees is to be paid as compensation for land on which paddy, corn, potato, soybeans, big onions and chili were cultivated. What is the procedure in place to provide compensation to farmers? Compensation for farmlands is to be provided based on how long the crop had been cultivated at the time it was destroyed. For crops that were cultivated for a period of 75 to 105 days and destroyed by Cyclone Fengal, a sum of 36,000 rupees per acre is to be paid as compensation for the complete loss of the crop. 18,000 is to be provided as compensation for crops that have been partially damaged, and 9,000 rupees per acre is to be provided as compensation for crops that have suffered minor damage. For crops that have suffered complete damage after being cultivated for a period between 31 to 75 days, a sum of 21,600 rupees is to be paid as compensation. Compensation of 10,800 rupees is set for crops that have suffered partial damage and 5,400 rupees for crops that have suffered minor damage during this time period. What is the issue that has arisen? The provision of compensation for crop damage was discussed at the meeting of the Ampara Agrarian Committee, chaired by the District Secretary. Many of the crops that were damaged by Cyclone Fengal had been cultivated for a period between 7 to 30 days. This is how compensation is to be paid for such crops.
14,400 is to be paid as compensation for farmlands that have suffered complete loss, 7,200 rupees is to be paid for partial loss and 3,600 rupees is to be paid for minor losses. This is how compensation is to be paid according to the circular issued in 2014. The only difference is that this is the first time that we are facing a situation where damage was caused like this during this time period. In every previous situation, the crops were damaged during the latter part of the agricultural cycle of the crop.
As far as I know, this circular was not issued in 2014, but it was the Ketata Aruna circular issued in 2013. The circular issued in 2013 included compensation of 25,000 rupees. Then the circular that was issued in 2017 amended the compensation to 40,000 rupees. At that point, 1 litre of diesel was about 130 rupees. 1 kilogram of paddy was about 160 rupees. They gave us an amount of 15,000 to 17,000 rupees to sow 2.5 acres. A bundle of fertilizer was 1,000 to 1,500 rupees. This circular is obsolete now. A bag of fertilizer is now priced at 8,500 rupees. 50,000 rupees is incurred to sow the field. 50,000 rupees is spent to harvest the paddy. The worker's wage is 3,000 rupees. The farmers believe that the full amount of 40,000 rupees will be given to them. They are not aware of the reality. It was also revealed that although damage was caused by floods, the cultivations of the Rambakanoe project in Ampara receive no compensation at all.
එතකොට ඉතින් මේ අර ආධාර බිඳුවයි නේ. දැන් ඒ නිසා තමයි සභාපතිතුමා योजना කරේ පිටිපස්සේ ඉඳගෙන අපේ බණ්ඩාර සභාපතිතුමා योजना කරේ මේ චක්‍රලේඛනේ සංශෝධනය කරන්න කියලා. එහෙම නැතුව අපි මෙතන කතා කරාට වැඩක් වෙන්නේ.
Another issue that has arisen is the removal of sand deposited in farmlands due to the flooding. Farmers claim that during this process, it appeared that many government officials had to obtain permission, leading to numerous legal complications which caused frustration among them. At a meeting of the Ampara District Agrarian Committee, the Ampara District Assistant Commissioner of Agriculture Development provided a practical solution to the problem.
The sand deposited on paddy fields should be removed by farmers who have the capability to do so under the existing legal provisions and with necessary permissions. However, if there are farmers who lack the means, the relevant agricultural organization should intervene using the organization's funds to carry out the removal. The collected sand should then be taken to a public location approved by the divisional secretary, where it can be stored and sold through an auction system or another suitable method. The proceeds from this sale should be deposited into the agrarian organization's fund.